Hi guys, and welcome to my YouTube video. It's a video I've been wanting to make for the longest time because I feel it's really important. And I want to say thank you to my friend Claudia, who has been on my case to make this video. So if you're a person who's gluten-free, not because it's cool, but because it really just doesn't agree with your body. It's okay if it doesn't agree with your body and you're just finding ways to live without it. I've been gluten-free now for 12 years. And the past 2 years, I discovered all these things that has gluten in, and I'm like, that's got gluten in it? Things that you would not have thought. Before we get into it, now what is gluten? Let's just quickly go to the basics. Gluten is a protein. It is a protein found in mainly wheat. So we always associate wheat and gluten, but it's also in other grains, not only in the wheat grain, also in some oats. So when you buy oats, you've got to buy the gluten-free oats. It's in rice and spelt. So couscous, which even though like you might think couscous is like rice, but couscous has got gluten in it. So for all those Moroccan tagine food lovers, so couscous is a grain that has gluten in it. But rice, you're fine with rice. So rice is good. Millet flour is a beautiful flour, very easy to digest. For any of you who maybe struggle with digestion, millet is like the easiest for your body to break down. Other grains that are fine is like quinoa. Quinoa is fabulous. So just note that you can still have a grain that is not wheat, but also has the gluten protein in. Luckily, there's gluten-free pizza. Thank you. Other things that I found that's got gluten in it is, for example, soy sauce. So I've gotten Kikkoman makes, look at that, Kikkoman makes a soy-free, a gluten-free, it's got soy in. It makes a gluten-free soy sauce. I literally would take this to a restaurant when I go eat sushi, just because they won't have this at a sushi place, but you still want to have your soy sauce. So literally I would just take my own little bottle and put it in. You can get this from any health store basically. Try Faithful to Nature. Doesn't have to be the Kikkoman brand. There are a few brands out there. Can have check out Wellness Warehouse, Faithful to Nature, Fresh Earth and Joburg, Jackson's. Be on the lookout for a gluten-free one. Have one in the car for in case you do an emergency go for sushi and you need you need some backup. So the next one that might be a surprise to you is salt. Some salts, like there's spicy salt or something, they would put gluten in. So things to look out for is like the salt that they put into boerewors, into biltong if you're South African, you know what I'm talking about. So those have gluten in. It's very little, like very little. I've had friends who have said to me they're making the boerewors, their druwors, even druwors has it. So they're making their druwors and it's going to be like tiny, the salt has a tiny little bit of gluten in, and my body reacts to that. So your body might be able to handle it, but if you're like really strict or your body can't handle it, then stay away. And then like even the salt rub on, for example, back in the day when I used to eat Woolies rotisserie chicken, so the salt rub on the rotisserie chicken has gluten in it. You can go to a restaurant, you can have a beautiful plate of fish. I've done this before, I'm just telling you real life stories. Have a beautiful plate of fish, the salt has got a gluten in it, and you go home and you feel sick. I usually just say, please make my fish super plain Jane. Don't put any salt on. Like I'll put on my own salt, don't put a spice on. That's kind of, if you are, and I know some of you might think that's extreme and that's silly, but I mean for me it's silly to feel sick. For me it's silly to live in pain. So I'd rather just go to a restaurant and say, please, like, keep it plain, I'll put my own spices on. And I'm not even talking about takeaway food. Like, I'm not even going there. Another thing that you will not believe has got gluten in it. Guys, are you ready for it? Is toothpaste. Here I have a new toothpaste there. This is the toothpaste I use. I was using Colgate And I discovered, so my body was so clean, so gluten-free, and I did a test and they were like, you've got gluten in your system. And I was like, how do I have gluten in my system? And as an experiment, because then I found that a lot of toothpaste have it, but they're sneaky because they don't tell you all the ingredients. So Colgate doesn't actually tell you what's in it. So I just experimented and I stopped using Colgate, and when I did the test, the gluten was out of my system. Where I get this is on Wellness Warehouse. It's very well priced, and it's like, look, it's now fluoride free, sodium free, gluten free, it's sugar free. I think they use a little bit of xylitol. So this is a really, really nice one. Another very nice one is called Spry, S-P-R-Y. I don't know if I'm saying it, Spry. And the first time I bought this toothpaste, I was at the Wellness Warehouse in Cape Town, and I looked at the price and I was like, I don't want to pay this much money for toothpaste. And the guy who was working there said to me, it's the price you pay for your health. And this is something that I would always say to other people. Don't look back on using gluten-free toothpaste. So this is one of the cheaper ones, and it's the best one that I could find, and it's like 60 Rand about. Very important to check, because some of these healthy toothpastes still do have gluten in. So you very specifically, on the Wellness Warehouse website, they very specifically tell you which of the like fluoride-free healthy ones are gluten-free. Just because it's like a different earth-friendly brand does not mean it's gluten-free. My last little item I want to talk to you about, which was also a big like, what for me? It's your beauty products. It's a convenient moisturizer. I just use very natural moisturizers from Olive, and makeup. Okay, so makeup is a big one, especially lipstick, because you obviously put it on your lips and then you touch it, comes into the body. I have one lipstick from MAC which doesn't have gluten in, because I can feel my body doesn't react. All the other ones from MAC, when I wear that lipstick, boom, all my gluten symptoms come, and then I know it's that lipstick. So I've had to do the slog of buying brand new makeup, which is obviously expensive and not fun for a girl, but it's worth it. So I want you to know that just because something is expensive does not mean it's gluten-free. So I'm talking about our MACs. Not some of MAC is gluten-free, some of it has gluten. I'm talking about Chanel, a lot of Chanel, because I used to wear Chanel, very expensive, and a lot of their products have gluten in them. So just because it's like a brand name does not mean that it's natural. Okay, so I started my journey with Juice Beauty, Gwyneth Paltrow, Goop, or they kind of like promote this. Yes, it is expensive. Yes, they're actually stopping import to South Africa. Don't worry, it's not that great. Like it's nice. Like this is the CC cream, but it doesn't do a tint. Like I had to buy the foundation. It is a nice foundation, very watery. Don't worry, you can't get it in South Africa anymore. But the good news is that I found a better product, which is way cheaper. That's gluten-free and chemical-free and all the frees that we love. And that is Enthusiasm. This stuff is so natural and so nice. I love the lipsticks. The lipstick is made with like beeswax. No gluten, people. It's made with beeswax and most probably other natural stuff. And I love this pink. Now the thing is, because it's made with like minerals, like it's all minerals and the things, you actually have to test it out. I actually had Christelle. She's here in Johannesburg. She came to my house. We wore our masks. I tested the makeup on my skin, like on my hand. And it was so interesting because if you put the lipstick on my hand and her hand, it makes different colors. Okay, this is not a makeup review, but I just wanted to tell you that there's an amazing local brand that makes gluten-free, chemical-free makeup, which is super affordable, even if you just start with your lipstick. And then another sneaky one is obviously gravy. They put a thickener into sauces. So the whole thing with gluten is like it's used as a thickener. That's why it's in the toothpaste. That's why it's in the makeup. It makes the makeup cheaper for them. You know, this is why I'm such a big advocate of going ethical, sustainable, conscious local brands who use clean products. Because if you are sitting with an intolerance to a chemical, to a gluten, to a something, with the cleaner products, your body's not going to react. So that's my video for you today. Has that got gluten in it? And another, oh yes, one of Claudia's asked questions was, where do I get like great gluten-free pasta? Where do I get my gluten-free alternatives? You can get amazing gluten-free alternatives if you're in Joburg from the Fresh Earth store. I think Fresh Earth is most probably like leading one of the best like gluten-free baked goods that we have. They've been making gluten-free products since my early days. Their products just keep getting better. They've got the banting options, which is completely grain-free, which is also beautiful. They don't put a lot of sugars and stuff into their breads. And there, if you go to the store, you'll see all the gluten-free pastas, different brands. Check the labels. And you can also do the online thing with Wellness Warehouse and Faithful to Nature. I hope this helps you on your gluten-free journey. And let me know if you have more questions. What would you like to know more about gluten? I think it's important for you to know that you have power to not be sick. You have the power to heal your body and to not be constantly in the sick zone. So make those decisions, knowledge is power. Love you guys so much. Mwah.